There you go. Thank you very much. Thank you. So why games? Can you guess what 8% and 49% means? Any guess? What 8% means? 8% and 49%. It can mean anything. But I'm going to tell you what it means. And it's not good news. There are different sources. I try to search, even use AI to try to help me. But there are different researches that shows in different countries. But the average that they comes out of different researches are that only 8% of Christians read the Bible daily around the world. 8% of Christians read the Bible daily. But what 49% then means? 49% of people play games daily. Is that crazy? 49% out of the gamers, of course, if they are not a gamer, then not. But the same for Christians. If you're not a Christian, you may not read the Bible at all. But to call yourself Christians, only 8% read the Bible every single day. But 94% of people are playing games every day. It doesn't stop there. We have around 2.2 billion of Christians around the world. And I found that in Asia is about 383 million. But at the same time, we have 3.5 billion gamers in the world. In Asia itself is almost 1/3 of that number. So we have more people that play games that people call themselves as Christians and know Jesus Christ. Paul said something many years ago that is still true today. 1 Corinthians 9:22 and 23 says, "To the weak I have become as weak, that I might win the weak. I have become all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. Now, this I do for the gospel's sake, that I may be partaker of it with you." So Paul is telling here that he used different methods to reach different people. The way that he was preaching to the Gentiles was different from the way that the apostles was reaching the Jewish community. It's the same message. It's the message of gospel, but in a different format that could reach that people. That's why I believe that just as Paul said that to the Corinthians, today we should be using games to reach gamers. In the past, when the Adventist Church has started, Ellen White, James White, they start with publications, and that's how we spread all over the world. So we start with publications, we went to radio, TV, digital ministries, and today we are at the games age. Did you know that the gamers market around the world movements more money alone than combining film and music? So all films that Hollywood produce and all the music, all those shows, all those things, that is a lot of money, games are doing more money than those two combined. People are immersing themselves into the experience of games. You may be familiar with heroes, but if we want to fulfill this message, we may continue not just with heroes, but creating new and different games to reach people. But what was the first time that the church created a game? Some of you may remember the first version of Heroes that was released actually 10 years ago, to 2013, created by Pastor Sam and his team. But that was not the first time. In fact, the first Adventist game, it comes back all the way from 1938, called SDA Authors. that was a card game that would help people to understand the authors and the writers and the people that was part of the pioneers of the Adventist church. There is another game, very interesting, that I found out as well, that is called Bible Journeys, from Egypt to Canaan, 1957. And I just found out today that actually Alyssa Streamer's husband has been working some of the new version of this game, and others as well, because look at the list. These are all the Adventist games that we have made through history. And I didn't know until then that Pick and Choose from 1982 was the first video game, digital video game, that the NAD created. And you know how that game was working through? Was a game that inspired young people to make decisions, pick and choose, when they go to the military. So how their faith and their religions will match in that environment. So through the game, they will have to make decisions, and they will keep their faith or not. That was one of the first electronic versions of video game that the Adventist Church released. And on this list and everything else, these are only the games in English. So probably there are more games that were released in different languages across the church around the world. I encourage you, if you would like to, find this article, Bible Games as Religious Educational Tools in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, a Playful Inventory, that was written by Dr. Alain Macedo Novas and Pastor Eric Eusebio Lima. They are from the university, Adventist University in São Paulo, and they wrote this article. So they went, they searched, they found the history of the Adventist games. And we want to use this media to reach even more people. Maybe you already know about Heroes, but what about all the other games that were here? And maybe all the other new games that we could create it. Not necessarily just to outside, but inside as well. Because according to a study conducted by the Bible Society, 59% of the children, they don't know basic stories from the Bible. When they made this research, 59% of them, they didn't know that Jonah was swallowed by a big fish. And that story was in the Bible. If our children, Christian children, doesn't know those simple stories from the Bible, how we will expect that they will preach the message? It's important to emphasize the games is not a tool to replace the study of the Bible, but to make people to understand and to motivate them to go back to the Bible, to know the stories and the source and the greatest heroes of all time, Jesus Christ. Let me talk very briefly about people, process, and tools, and how we can apply that not only in Heroes, which is the game that you already know, but also in your other projects that you are creating. People is the most important asset that you have. With the right people on your team, you're going to succeed in any project you're going to create it. But if you have people that just complains, people that are lazy, people that push you down, what's going to happen with your project? You're going to get stuck. So find the right people is very important. And if you find them, take care of them. Don't let them go. Be very careful of your team. That's why we are growing with Heroes, because we are taking care of our team. And they invest themselves to learn and to grow and to put this out in the game. And that's why the game is growing. If people are not committed to God first and to the project that they are serving in any area, it's not going to work. We can learn new tools, we can learn new languages, we can learn new things, but if we are not committed to do the job that has given to us, we're not going to do it. So people is very important, but the process is also important. and we keep improving as we are learning through in GAiN and different conference. We learn new process, new methodologies that will help us to achieve the goals that we have set. But very important, as much as to have a good process that will help us to go through, we cannot be stuck just because of the process. The process is a way, it's not the end. And the process is to help us to get better and not to just be focused on the process and not on the results. And finally, tools. You need the best tools to achieve the work you have to do. So that's why also we are here. We are learning, and we will learn more about AI and other different tools that we can use to reach and to achieve our goals. But we need to be focused and understand that using the best tools is to create and to make easier for the people that we want to reach, not the other way around. We have done this mistake once at Heroes. We use such a great quality of videos and animations in the Heroes that the very first release of the game had 900 megabytes. Who's going to download that? And then we find out that it was not working in some Android versions because it was too much. It was beautiful, but it was not working because we have to give that to people. And if people has not access to that, what is the point? The gospel is not just for those that have the best technology. The technology has to be used to reach everybody, not the other way around. So we went back and we redid all designs, all the animations in Heroes. So now it's available from Android 7, H, and on. And because of that, we could reach different regions of the world that before the game was not available. Use the best tools and technology, but reach as many as possible. And finally, have crazy goals. Alyssa Red said here how the team sometimes we think about crazy things, just like when we come up with 4 languages just 1 month before GC session. But 3 new languages, 4 languages, English was already there. But why have crazy goals? Because think of with me, if you want to set, I want to have $1 million per month. And someone else says, I want to have $1,000 per month. Who is going to reach the goal first? Probably. 1,000 or 1 million? 1,000. But if that person that put a goal of 1 million reach at least 100,000, what that does mean? He failed, is it? His goal was 1 million, but he only got 100,000. But he did 100 times better than the other one that went with a comfortable goal. So when you put the goals for your projects, think bigger. We never thought that we could reach 1 million downloads with Heroes. When Sam said that first, I was like, yeah, but how many years? Until Jesus come back, that's maybe possible. But now we are almost there. And we won't stop. So think bigger. Even if you fail on the bigger goal is better than if you think very small. The people that dream of climbing the Everest, they don't train walking on the beach. And if you can measure, you can achieve. That's very important. Of every single project that you're doing, games or not, you have to have goals and goals that can be measured. And their goals has to be very clear to everyone in your team. If your team doesn't know what are the goals, how are they going to be sure that they are walking towards that direction? If you can measure, you can achieve. But then let me show you quickly what are the goals that we have set for Heroes. We dream big, and we said we want to have 1 million downloads. But also we said, let's have not 1 million downloads, let's have 1 million of users, actives in the app in 1 month. Let's have 1 million visitors coming to the website. And let's have 1 million of Bible study lessons completed. Because Heroes is not a game just for fun. It's a tool to be used to reach for the mission. And how are we doing then? On the website, we had 1 million pages views, but all together. But we want to have 1 million visitors in one single month. We're going to work for that. On the Bible studies, we have 3 different Bible studies. One is called The Big Questions. The second one is The Big Questions, but only focus on the 3 angels' message. And we have another one that is in partnership with Hope Channel in Brazil, Novo Tempo, called How to Become a Hero. And altogether, so far, we have over 27,000 lessons. What about the app then? As yesterday, when I checked, we had 936,000 downloads. You can see the top countries there. And this number continues to grow every day. You know what that means? Having almost 1 million download players, it means that 33 millions of minutes of video game play. And you say, oh, Jeff, if you don't like video games, you may think they are wasting the time. No, because maybe they would be playing a different game that they can get nothing good out of that. But instead, they have been playing for about 63 years, if we put it all together. 93 million questions, but those questions are Bible questions that help them to understand the Bible, to understand the stories that transforms their lives. Languages. And this is one of the reasons why we are here, because we want to partner with you. We want to bring heroes, make available for different languages and different regions of the world. So if it's not available in your language yet, please come talk to me. We'd love to have heroes available in different languages. Maybe we have the game available in the language, but not the Bible studies. Maybe not the website. Let's create more content, material. What do you need in your region that the young generation, the young people, and not only because it's very nice that you can bring together and put the old generation, the young generation to play, learning about the Bible. It's a chance for them to interact. New features. We're not going to stop here. Maybe you have played and say, Jeff, I already finished all the questions in the game. Well, we just released this week a new mode called Heroes Mode. And that's a very difficult one. I haven't succeeded in that yet. We've also released over 1,000 new questions in some languages, but we also need help to translate for new languages those new questions. We're going to create different modes that will help and empower the local church or Hope channels to create events, pathfinders that they can play together. That's our dream and hope, to see our generation use their time to start conversations at school or other people to say, hey, I know about a game. We're talking about those games, but my church created one. You would like to play with me? We're going to have a Bible competition. It could be from a different church. It could be a non-Christian church, and they can come and play together and learn together, as we have seen many times. And with this, I will end. Stores and reviews. For every project that you have, it's very important to see the feedbacks that you get from, because you can learn very much. I just arrived here and someone came to talk to me and said, Jeff, how can you use with our local youth? I said, you know what, let's create a guide, how to create local events. And we're going to create those videos or a material that we can help and give to people. Then I was talking also with Pastor Edgar, and he has given me several ideas how we can use the heroes in different ministries of the church. So let's partner with them and see how heroes could help that. And once you have these feedbacks, you get it and you improve the game. And you improve your projects. And it's very nice when people go back to the stores, Apple stores, Google Play, and they leave a result. There are over 3,000 reviews. And if you go for your local country, there is then one specific rate. But the overall rate of heroes on Google is 5 stars. And look what some people are saying. Out of all trivia games, this biblical one is truly inspirational for me. God bless this team. Great app, a very great way to study and learn more about our brothers and sisters and God. Beautiful way. Thank you for this. I love this game. This question sent me straight back to the Bible. Best Bible drill. Thank you for the team who created that. Excellent. Wonderful. Thanks. And this one says, awesome game. I found out about this Sabbath morning, and I love it. I already have unlocked 4 heroes. I wish there were more than 12. Really recommend to anyone. When you do, and you start to see this, you see the difference that you make in people's lives. Because in the end of the day, all the projects that we are being talking here, Hope Channel, AWR, all the different ministries, every single department, we are all come together for one purpose, which is to fulfill our mission. May not only heroes, but every single project that we do, and hopefully more games will come that will help people to understand the Bible and to understand the stories, and main of all, the biggest stories of all time, and Jesus Christ, the biggest heroes, and how He can transform our lives. And here, just a kind of reminder for you to download. So on Saturday, we're going to have a competition here. Be sure to have the last version, which was released this week. So if you already have the game, update the version so you can play the challenge. Great prizes, but also will be a moment of fun and enjoying all together. Thank you very much. God bless you.